Well, we turn now to Food for Thought. It's our signature segment on the business and economics of all things food. As life gets busier for people around the world, convenience and time savings are becoming a big factor in what we choose to put on the table and how we do it. And it's not any different in China. Our reporter Huang Fei reports on the growing business of ready-made meals that are now easily available in markets there.
This is the start of a long line of fish processing, with workers sorting the catch by size to meet the needs of different buyers. After almost 3 decades of selling live fish, Lin Junmei envisions a lucrative future in prepared slices.
When pandemic restrictions were first lifted, people flocked to restaurants, leading to a surge in orders for our pre-made packages. These packages help restaurants save costs and speed up their service. Currently, we're operating at full capacity. We're constructing a new factory with smart machines, which should increase our daily output to 500,000 kilos.
Lin received $400,000 in government subsidies to buy new equipment and anticipates more grants once the new plant is complete. Over 200 startups entered the pre-made food sector in Foshan last year, drawn by market potential and government support. Some business owners also attribute their confidence to the recent pro-business stance of the country's top leadership. In Guangzhou, Alibaba's supermarket chain Freshippo is expanding its selection of ready-made meal options, catering to the growing appetite of young professionals and busy parents.
Ready meals make up 7 to 80% of my diet. Leaving alone, there's often limited fresh food at the wet markets by the time I leave work.
It's convenient. As our living standards improve, we don't mind spending money to save time.
But it's not just about convenience. Grocers are competing on variety and keeping updated with new food trends. Regional specialties are especially popular, with Zibo barbecue making waves on social media earlier this year. Now, people can enjoy northeastern street food without leaving the comfort of their homes.
The pre-made foods market in China is projected to reach $144 billion by 2026. But such products still face challenges in terms of freshness, taste, and diversity. Freshippo hopes to address some of these pressure points through an industry alliance.
Collaborating with agricultural companies allows us to source better ingredients. Centralized kitchens can help improve production standards, and universities can explore how to make frozen food taste as good as fresh.
While the return of restaurants may slow the growth of retail food packages, many industry insiders believe the rising trend of ready-made meals is here to stay. Huang Fei, CGTN, Guangzhou.
And here in the United States, the quest for convenience takes other forms. Some people simply do not mind cooking, but they don't want to go to the supermarket themselves. Instead, they get groceries delivered. San Francisco-based grocery delivery company Instacart listed on the NASDAQ last week, jumping 12% on its debut, but now it has dipped back toward its IPO price. Other consumers even pay to have ingredients chopped up and delivered, ready to toss in the pan. Back in 2017, meal kit company Blue Apron became the first such service to go public on the NYSE. After years of ups and downs, including a pandemic boom, then bust, it has just transferred its listing to the NASDAQ. Germany's HelloFresh, whose biggest market is in the United States, also listed in 2017. It reported record revenue last year, but has forecast lower profit for this year. So there's a lot going on to these meal kits, these companies, and what they mean to the economy and what they mean to the consumer. Now, for taking a closer look at that, we are joined by Christopher Miles, Senior Analyst for the Grocery Retail Insights at research firm Kantar. Thanks very much for joining us. I find this pretty fascinating myself because I know a lot of people who got into this during the pandemic. Let's start with Blue Apron. It's moving its listing from New York Stock Exchange to the NASDAQ. Now, why now? Because the company did get a delisting warning from the NYSE last December.
Great question, and thank you so much for having me here. Great to be with you all. Yeah, it's really everybody is facing a tough market at the current moment. So Blue Apron, like many companies, facing that challenging market and really thinking that now is that critical time to make sure that investors are staying, solidified in its business and sticking around. So I think for Blue Apron, the thought is that making the move at this current moment will really help, solidify that relationship with investors and continue to have them investing for that long term.
So many companies, Blue Apron, HelloFresh, Home Chef, Sunbasket, just to name a few. How are they doing now? And is the market big enough to, no pun here, feed all these companies?
Love it. Yeah, no, it definitely, yeah, like Blue Apron, many of these kind of, meal kit companies are, again, facing a tough market. We're seeing Blue Apron, HelloFresh, with seeing a decline in revenue, seeing a decline in customers, as well as, the number of orders that they're overall seeing, seeing that over their past couple of quarterly earnings. So definitely, again, many, shoppers, that they found that convenience, really great during the pandemic. But I think, at now, as they kind of shift their focus more towards value and, with inflation and, kind of all of the macroeconomic factors we're dealing with, really shoppers are turning their focus more towards value and really making those tougher decisions on where they spend their money. And unfortunately, it seems like meal kit services are one of those first services to kind of be pulled out of their budget.
But to me, it's interesting because there are a lot of families where both parents or both people and both breadwinners do, come home late. No one wants to slave over an oven. So let's go through some of the positives for these companies. Simple, easy, but how does it differ from, say, direct grocery deliveries and online food?
Absolutely. So, really, I think these meal kit services really try to differentiate themselves in a few different ways, and we actually have a team at Kantar of some amazing shopper analysts who really keep track of shopper behaviors and trends, and we actually did a deep dive on asking shoppers why do they purchase these meal kits. And it's really about three things: convenience, really exploration, and then again, as I talked about, that value. So convenient, it's really simple to decide what to make. You're not constantly thinking about trying to decide, go back and forth of what am I trying to make tonight. So you have that recipe already there for you. Exploration, you're able to kind of explore different cuisines that you might not be able to really try, that you maybe haven't tried before. And then for most shoppers, that value is coming from the money. About 32% of shoppers that we surveyed said that meal kits provide them with better value, and it's also about time. It's that savings factor as well for that value as well.
Christopher, one thing that also stands out to me is the amount of food that people in the United States waste. I mean, they throw away as much as 40% each week. So if you have these pre-planned meals or whatever, it seems like it is not only going to be a better value, but it's better in terms of waste and in terms of filling up landfills with stuff that should be going in our stomachs.
That's a great point as well. As you mentioned, definitely many grocery retailers are pushing for, trying to reduce their own food waste as well. And I think, definitely we can start that in the home as well by kind of moderating a little bit of how much we order. So to your point, definitely meal kit service, that's a great factor that, ordering only as much as you need.
You talked about exploration. So what about companies that say offer a niche plan, such as plant-based food or kids meals? Are those companies doing okay?
I think that they're a bit up and coming. It's definitely, again, a competitive market. And I think like most of these food service companies, food kit companies, they're experiencing these turbulent times. And I think they definitely have that ability to serve a niche shopper and their needs. And I think, this kind of landscape is becoming a bit saturated with more and more players who are trying to cater to those niche needs. So definitely starting to see the market kind of heat up a little bit with some new competitors such as Factor, as well as just other areas as well, not necessarily within the meal kit service itself, but frozen foods, other just healthy meal options that are convenient for the shopper.
Christopher, I find this fascinating. I think it's going to get more and more attention as people kind of turn toward. So we want to stay in touch with you, maybe have you back in 6 months or so and see how things are going. It's pretty fascinating to me. Christopher Miles,
absolutely.
Thanks very much. With Kantar, I said Kantar first. Kantar, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.